is it just you're using that law firm light?
It's not law firm light. It's a completely different model.
But Montresor have such a wider, deeper network. If you are going to question quality, you can't question, therefore, the quality of the law firm.
The market has changed.
What would you say to a organisation that was worried about that?
Flexibility comes at a cost, but actually when you do the final analysis...
Welcome to the General Counselling Podcast. This week, we're covering the alternative legal services market. Over the last 3 or 4 years, flexible resourcing and the provision of alternative legal services has been a major priority for a number of Montresor's clients. And I'm delighted today to be joined by 2 people from Condor, which is the law firm Fieldfisher's captive alternative legal services offering. That is Stephen Ingle, who is the head of the Condor business line, and James Lawrence, who joined earlier this year as head of client engagement. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Stephen, do you want to give us Condor in 20 seconds?
Sure. So Condor, as you say, is Fieldfisher's captive ALS provider, providing solutions to all of Fieldfisher's clients across various different practices. I think we currently cover all of the practices areas across the business. Ostensibly, we provide interim resourcing to clients, secondments, etc., filling in resourcing where needed. We provide outsourcing and we provide technology solutions to clients. We're currently working with clients on a range of engagements, including regulatory compliance, business as usual outsourcing, supporting the in-house legal teams, and obviously on the recruitment and secondees side.
So what is the difference between... There's a number of different providers in this space, and they broadly fall into 2 categories. One, those ones which are associated with a law firm, so what we would describe as the captive ALSs, and others that are standalone. What's the difference for you guys in working, if you're a client, with one that's a captive part of a law firm, or one that's independent?
I think one of the benefits you have is that you do ultimately have the backing of the law firm in the delivery of any of those aforementioned services that Stephen's talked about. With that, what you then get is a retainment of knowledge, you get oversight of partners, and ultimately you get more flexibility in being able to price as well. So there's a lot of benefits. A lot of law firms do and have started up captive ALSs, so it's obviously a market that is exceptionally high in growth at the moment, and obviously kind of, as you said there, our clients are very much looking to leverage the skills and the services that we're bringing.
And if you're a partner of a firm with a captive ALS, it's another way of being able to support clients beyond just providing legal advice on a transaction or a case.
Absolutely. Some of the large-scale engagements that clients have requirements for, large-scale regulatory repapering, supporting in-house legal in terms of outsourcing some of the more banal day-to-day functions that need to be performed correctly, accurately, but are seen as low value in the firm. Supporting clients with those kind of engagements is exactly what ALS provision is about for those clients at the right pricing point.
Yeah, and I think the diversification of services from a law firm is really key there, and as you said, clients are looking for it, whether it's because of restrained budgets, whether it's because of needing to work around resources in their teams. They want to work smarter, and by providing that, that's what we're doing.
So one of the things you do sometimes hear about from clients is that if you're going to use a captive ALS, is it just you're using sort of that law firm light, or a sort of lower version of that law firm? How would you guys respond to that?
So I mean, in terms of pricing,
yeah.
Clients' challenge is generally that pricing on a time and materials basis is risky on any engagement, because you never know what's going to crop up. So having a fixed price is very important. Having access to legal skills is massively important, because you need to be able to provide the full service to the client. You can manage the escalations if you have the support of the legal team and the partners that we're lucky enough within Fieldfisher to have. So that is what you're getting. The question of, is it law firm light? Well, it's not, because the delivery resources are not all trained lawyers. They are project managers, they are technicians, they are data scientists, they're paralegals. And so it's a wide array of skills that are required that the law firm doesn't necessarily sell. So it's not law firm light, it's a completely different model. But the value of the ALS, the kind of captive ALS, over the standalone ALS, as James pointed out, is that we have the oversight of the partners, and we have that guidance to help us deliver quality results to our clients.
So one of the things we've been partnering with you guys on over the last few years is the flexible staffing. So where there's a project that kicks off, or someone goes on maternity, and a client needs a temporary resource. One of the things we hear a lot amongst clients is questions around whether, if they are going to be able to take advantage of the flexibility of a resource, they'll need to compromise on the quality of that resource. How have you guys seen the quality of the lawyers operating in the contract market develop over the last few years?
I think that's an interesting point there. Depends on the timing of when someone probably first went to market. If you're talking about this model 15, even 10 years ago, then yes, it was probably full of ex-partners who are in semi-retirement, just looking to make a little bit of extra money or keep their brains working. The model has moved on so far since then, and that ever-developing talent pool has allowed people to be able to leverage different parts of why they want to be a interim lawyer, whether it is the fact that they want to manage their time better, whether it is that they want to diversify the work that they do, whether it is that they want to spend 6 months on, 6 months off. There's so many reasons why people want to do this now that I think kind of lumping everyone into the same category is redundant. I think the next piece as well is that talent pool development is something that we have tapped into through the relationship with Condor and Montresor. Condor obviously have their own network, but Montresor have such a wider, deeper network, and with kind of candidates of real experts and quality. So, kind of that ability to reach candidates is something that we've obviously developed over the last few years. But again, what we always come back to is that partner oversight and the law firm oversight that you get. This isn't just a relationship with a secondee for 6 months. This is a relationship that you have with a law firm, and a relationship that you have with a service that the law firm provides that ultimately has quality built into it. So I think if you are going to question quality, you can't question therefore the quality of the law firm.
I think where I've seen it, I mean, there's definitely a really deep bench in some areas. So you look at general commercial, you look at certain areas of finance, and there is a really deep vein of consultants that have decided to go down this path. I think the benefit of the tie-in that we've had is there are some niches that are just always very hard to find people in, whether you're doing it permanently or on a temporary basis. And having the ability to get the search teams that we have to go after some of those people means that we can provide even challenging practice areas or niches that are difficult to find in a speedy, contract friendly way.
I would agree with that. I think, just to reiterate one or two of the points, the market has changed in terms of the resources and the candidates available, and the reason that it's changed is because there are more ALS providers and there are more folks looking for interim. There is more demand, effectively. That greater demand has led to lawyers realizing that they don't need to continue going down the path of becoming a partner, which maybe they're not well suited to or don't want to for whatever reasons. And so it's allowed the candidate pool to really grow exceptionally across a wide variety of areas. If, as Condor, we were to try and retain that pool and manage that entirely on our own, there would be periods where resources would have absolutely nothing to do. Yeah. And so the partnership works well because we're able to tap into expertise that's gained through other engagements with other providers and other clients, and we bring that to our clients as secondments as well.
There's another issue that we sometimes hear in-house lawyers talk about when they're talking about flexible resourcing in particular, which is if you have a interim resource. You have someone with your business for 6 months, and you're having to spend time, energy training them on how your organisation does things. A lot of the time, that they're concerned that you then lose that when they end their 6-month placement. What would you say to a organisation that was worried about that?
Well, I think firstly, one of the things you have to cover is whether someone's there for a 6-month engagement or whether they're there for 6 years in a permanent role. You're always going to, when you lose a person, lose a sense of knowledge and a sense of MI. I think, again, coming back to the same point, having the backing of the law firm enables, and being a client of the law firm as well, enables you to understand the client in the past, in the present, and then in the future as well. So we're not there for only that 6 months. We've been there for the last 6 years working with you, understanding your processes, understanding how you work, the different nuances. We're there in that 6 months where that person's on site, and they can get the benefit of learning that from you, but also learning that from us. And then we can take that forward into the future. We understand how that person's worked for the last 6 months, so we can draw that in, can feed that into the firm. But as well, anyone else who comes in the future, whether it's that same person or whether it's someone new, we've got that ability to be able to provide them with kind of the base and the knowledge that we have.
I think the other thing we've seen a little bit on that space is that now with the changes in the IR35 legislation, people don't have to leave after 6 months. If there is a resource requirement that keeps going, because there's no tax advantage for the lawyer to be there, they don't have to pretend that they're a consultant that leaves after 6 months. They can be there for, I think we've had people for at least 18 months on assignments, and I think that's probably likely to continue given post IR35 changes and challenges around headcount in larger institutions.
Yeah, I don't see IR35 reversing. I know there was discussion. I don't see it reversing. I think it's a positive change. It's a fairer playground for everyone. But that does mean that there's longer term opportunities, and it also gives clients more flexibility to say, maybe I need this person for 2-3 years, but I'm not certain that it's an ongoing relationship. They're also able to change the delivery model quite flexibly. So it works on a number of fronts. I don't see IR35 changing or going away.
No. The other concern you do sometimes hear about flexible resourcing, in particular from institutions that are linked to law firms, is it's extremely expensive. What do you guys say to that?
So, in terms of interim resourcing has been expensive, I think the costs are all seen as immediately above the line, whereas with full-time employees, there are a significant number of costs that are hidden. So you've got to make sure you're comparing like for like, taking into account the tax, pension, holidays, the full kind of cost of having an additional seat within a building. You look roughly at an uptick of about 1.6, 1.7 times the annual salary. And so if you're looking at just that pure metric, I think interim resources are probably a lot better value than you would than you would consider if you're looking at 100% of annual salary.
Yeah.
That said, you're also able to change your resource on a month's notice. So if the resource isn't fit for purpose, or if your business model has changed, you need someone else with a different skill set, you can then obtain those skills and that knowledge quite easily and flexibly. So flexibility comes at a cost, but actually when you do the final analysis, it seems that it's relatively similar in terms of cost. Yeah,
there's quite a wide range of cost points as well from the different providers in the market. A lot of the time providing similar and often identical resources at quite wildly different price points.
Yeah, and I think that comes to certain providers having spent obviously a long time in the market and maybe not adapting or moving with the times, and how people have changed and how other businesses have changed their pricing structures. I think one of the things that we've always committed to is being flexible in that structure, and also trying to be as innovative as we can, understanding that there's no one size fits all, and that we always want to make sure that we're kind of looking at the right option.
In terms of pricing, I think one of the key things to remember is that we have, as a law firm captive ALS, we have an ongoing relationship with the client. We are the client's trusted advisor on a number of fronts, and the secondment isn't our only business line. Yeah. So we're not trying to make a super profit on the engagement. It's a way of helping us help our clients, partner with our clients, and so we're not going to price it aggressively to do so. And I think you'll see that difference in the market with potentially the same candidates put forward by different types of ALS.
Yeah. And if you're an organisation that's not currently a Fieldfisher client, can you still partner with Condor?
Absolutely. So there are many ways of signing up. We traditionally sign up with Fieldfisher, so it's Fieldfisher's clients. But we do have clients that are standalone Condor clients and that are only looking for ALS provision. And we take those clients on and service them accordingly.
And you mentioned you work across all of the main practice groups. Are there any industry sectors that you feel that the Condor offering is particularly well suited for or strong within?
I mean, financial markets is the kind of birthplace of a lot of the ALS businesses because of the high volume of regulatory compliance work, the project work, typically the high volume of contracting. Yeah. Commercial and corporate, obviously, again, high volumes of contracts that are, in some cases, lower to medium value for the organization as opposed to being strategic, which you're able to outsource the negotiation of. Large-scale projects in the real estate space, also very super valuable. I think the key area that ALSs provide resources to is obviously DR, dispute resolution, and providing paralegals for reviews and inquiry work. That's one of the largest providers of or buyers of resource from ALS businesses globally. So I think it's a wide mix, a wide array. Who haven't I called out? I think employment. I think we obviously have some requirement on the employment side. It depends on the practice and how transactional they are. And then personal injury, medical negligence, not an area that we've done a whole barrel full of work in currently, but there are a number of products that are well suited to that business unit as well, which we will be rolling out in the next 6 months.
Oh. And one thing that we're always looking to do as a division of the wider firm is work with the firm to understand how we can help them to deliver better and also work closer with their clients and build that partnership. The nature of the ALS businesses is that they are trying to drive innovation into the legal system and the legal world. So in that vein, a lot of what we do is trying to uncover how we can do that, but taking the law firm's insight as well, taking the way that they work with the clients, the work that they're doing, the understanding that they have and the expertise that they're providing, and just looking at those nuances.
Okay. So if an organisation wants to find out a bit more about how you guys can support them in any of the legal issues or resourcing issues they've got, how should they get in touch?
Pick up the phone, send us an email, contact us on LinkedIn, log on to our website, condor-als.com. We would love to hear from you.
Gents, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Tom.